Chicago gang members threatening the National Guard? What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video.
Yeah. I'm speaking truth from the cell to the streets. Did 24 years, now I'm finally free. Ain't strong standing, no chains on me. Ex-con, ex-gang, but my soul found peace. Taught by the struggle, pain made me wise. I seen homies fall, seen mothers cry. Now I'm here to teach what the system denies. From the darkness I rose, Tupac in my eyes. This channel ain't clout, it's the scars I show. Life lessons in these rhymes so the young ones know. Dubs on the mic, watch the wisdom grow. If you walk through the fire, let your spirit glow.
I just saw a video right now. I was getting ready to record and I had a different video in mind. And then I saw this video. It was on the Liberal Hive Mind, one of my favorite channels on YouTube. And it was in regards to President Trump seriously contemplating sending National Guard troops into Chicago. We had, what, 52 shootings or something last weekend or, real recently. And a few people were killed and a bunch of people shot. And unfortunately for Chicago, this isn't something out of the ordinary anymore. And the local politicians, for some reason, can't figure out how to get the resources together, the manpower together, the logistics together to try to save their citizenry. And so the president has said, this has to stop. And so he's contemplating, seriously contemplating sending in the National Guard to bring some peace, some form of sanity back to that city. So an individual from Chicago, I don't know if he's a gang member, he's talking as if he's a gang member, put out a video, and he directed the video to President Trump. And in the video, he's saying to Donald Trump, hey, gang, don't send the National Guards over here, gang. We got over 100,000 gangs, not gang members. He said there's over 100,000 gangs in Chicago. He said all of the gangs will unite and fight against the National Guard with their Glocks, with their switches. Then he disrespected some other cities. He said, we're not LA, we're not DC. I'm 51 years old. I'm not from LA. I'm from Southern California. I'm 51 years old, and I remember Los Angeles in the 80s. And I can tell you right now, when I see what's happening in Chicago, it reminds me of what was happening in LA in the 80s and the early 90s. I remember in LA in the 80s and early 90s, there'd be thousands of killings annually. Cops didn't want to show up to certain areas of LA till about 45 minutes after the incidents occurred, so that maybe the bad guys weren't going to be in the vicinity anymore. The victims, oh yeah, you can imagine 45 minutes to get there. Yeah, good luck. There are a lot of people from the black community in Chicago who are actually speaking up. And they're saying something needs to be done because local politicians, local police, they're not stopping anything. I do not agree. I do not believe for 1 second that the gangs are going to unite and fight the National Guard, the American government, the American military. And I know for a fact that if the guardsmen, the National Guard, are sent into that city, the last thing they want to do is shoot. Last thing they want to do is take a life. It's being contemplated to put them in place to stop the loss of life. And so that gang member that made that horrible video, I don't think you understand the reason. It's not to go over there and take over the city and you can't do this and you can't do that. It's to bring back peace and law and order. It's so your nieces and nephews, if you don't care about living, it's so your nieces and nephews. If you got any kids, it's so your kids can have a better way. Something's got to be done. It's unfortunate. The local politicians and police should be ashamed of themselves that the federal government is looking at their city like, can you get this thing under wraps already? Can you stop the killing already? I've never been to Chicago. I get a lot of support on the channel from Chicago. My prayers and well wishes to Chicago. All these mothers who have to worry about their sons and daughters every damn day. I promise you, they want law and order. There's a lot of gang members in Chicago, I'm sure, that wish something would change. Believe me, there's a lot that are like the guy in the video. They take it as a challenge. I remember when I was a young, dumb gang member, when I was a kid, before I went to prison. Anybody comes in the neighborhood that ain't from the neighborhood, F them. I remember that. Because I had no value. I didn't place value on my own life, my own freedom. And that's why I was so quick to sacrifice both, if necessary. That's why I had no problems victimizing anyone who wasn't from my neighborhood. If they were in that lifestyle, I didn't give a damn. And as a result, the entire decade of the 90s, I was out 5 months in one walk. Got busted in 1989. Got out in January of 1993. Got busted again in June of 1993 and didn't see the streets again until 2017. It's a long time. It's a lot of struggle and sacrifice right there. If it's determined that the National Guard has to go in, and if they're able to restore order, if the constituency there in Chicago decides to go a different way, vote in a different mayor, the mayor appoints a different police chief, they work with the community, they get an understanding, a better understanding with the community, try to build some type of trust. I don't know. But something, the status quo can't be the status quo anymore. Too many people are dying. The troops aren't going in there. If they go in, the National Guard is not going in there to take lives. It's to stop the killing, stop the shooting, stop the hurting. People are being incarcerated for their poor decisions, and this is a way to maybe get them to make better decisions. Anybody seeing this as a personal challenge to a gang? You need to find your own value, your own worth, and hanging in the streets. No matter how dysfunctional a family is, that's still the truest love you're going to find in your life. Until you get married and have a child. The streets don't love no one. The penitentiary, like a lot of people call it, prison is what I call it. Prison don't love nobody. Stop acting like you should love that. Love your family. Love yourself. Do better. That's my video for today, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love, man. I'm out of here.